shadowy showdowns. Horror story.
On the edges of the humble community of Hollowbrook lay a neglected house, long supposed to be spooky. It had stood void for quite a long time, an evil outline against the twilight sky. Few thought about moving toward it, and the individuals who did never remained for a really long time. One cold harvest time night, a gathering of companions chose to test their fortitude and go through the night inside. "Are you certain about this, Jake?" asked Sarah, her voice shaking as they remained at the created iron doors. Jake, the instigator of the gathering, streaked a certain grin. "Come on, Sarah, it's simply an old house. What could possibly go wrong?" Alongside him, Imprint and Emily traded uncomfortable looks. "How about we simply get this over with?" Imprint murmured, pushing the squeaking entryway open. The manor lingered before them, its windows like dim, heartless eyes. As they ventured inside, the entryway closed behind them, reverberating through the unfilled lobbies. "Indeed, that is not unpleasant by any stretch of the imagination," Emily said, her voice trickling with mockery. They advanced toward the terrific flight of stairs, the sections of flooring moaning under their weight. Dust bits moved in the pale evening glow separating through broken windows. The air was thick with the aroma of rot and something different, something more obscure. "Did you hear that?" Sarah murmured, her eyes wide. "It's simply the breeze," Jake answered, however he didn't sound persuaded. They tracked down an enormous, smelly room on the subsequent floor and set up their camping beds. As they got comfortable, the old pendulum clock in the corner told 12 p.m., the sound resonating through the quiet house. Out of nowhere, a weak murmur reverberated through the room. "Get out!" "What was that?" Emily's voice was scarcely discernible. "Likely our minds," Jake said, however his bluster was beginning to falter. "Truly, Jake, we should simply go," Sarah demanded, her trepidation tangible. Before Jake could answer, the murmurs developed stronger, occupying the room with a tune of immaterial voices. "Get out while you actually can." Alarm set in. "This is actually a major buzzkill." "Interesting, Jake." Imprint yelled, his eyes shooting around the room. "It's not me." Jake snapped back, his own trepidation getting through. Out of nowhere, the temperature plunged. Ice crawled along the windows, and their breath turned out in noticeable puffs. A dim shadow moved in the corner, gradually coming to fruition. The companions watched with dismay as a spooky figure arose, a lady in a worn-out dress, her eyes empty and void. Who are you?" Sarah stammered, stepping back. The phantom's mouth contorted into a shocking grin. "I'm the remainder of the individuals who considered remaining. Presently, you will go along with us." With a chilling shout, the nebulous vision thrusted forward. The companions mixed to their feet, hustling for the entryway. As they went through the dim corridors, the murmurs followed them, developing more berserk and malicious. "Run, run, run," the voices recited, reverberating off the walls. They arrived at the front entryway, yet it wouldn't move. "We're caught!" Emily cried, beating on the wood. "Here!" Imprint yelled, highlighting a side entryway. They ran toward it, yet the entryway closed before they could arrive at it. The murmurs became stunning, and shadows moved around them, shutting in. "We need to discover another way," Jake shouted, his voice scarcely perceptible over the chaos. They ran up the steps, expecting to track down an exit on the upper floors. In any case, the house appeared to move around them, foyers contorting and entryways seeming where there had been none previously. The spooky figure returned at the highest point of the steps, obstructing their way. "You can't get away," she murmured, her voice a spooky murmur. Urgency grasped them. "What is it that you expect from us?" Sarah shouted. "Your spirits," the apparition answered, connecting with skeletal hands. Jake snatched an old candelabra from a close-by table and swung it at the phantom. It went through her, yet the power of the swing thumped over a close-by shelf. Books and trash tumbled down, immediately impeding the phantom's development. Along these lines. Jake yelled, driving them down another passageway. They burst into a room with an enormous, stained glass window. In the event that we can break the window, we can get out. Imprint said, snatching a seat. He swung it at the window, and the glass broke. The cool night air surged in, blending with the abusive presence in the room. Individually, they moved through the wrecked window, cutting themselves on the shards, however not minding in that frame of mind to escape. They arrived on the congested grass, short of breath and dying, yet alive. The murmurs blurred as they took off from the house, holding off on halting until they arrived at the security of the town. As they paused to rest, Jake went to glance back at the manor. Somewhere far off, he saw the spooky figure watching them from the wrecked window, her empty eyes sparkling with an evil light. "We're rarely returning here," he promised, his voice shaking. The companions gestured in quiet understanding, the memory of that evening scratched into their brains for eternity. Also, as they left, they couldn't shake the inclination that the murmurs would follow them, tormenting their fantasies and helping them to remember the night they barely got away from the grasp of the dead.